High-interest consumer debt is not a personal flaw. It's a business model. You're not a customer. You're a recurring revenue stream with emotion. Let's talk about the cold, hard truth. You're not bad with money. You're being farmed. If you have high-interest credit card debt and a dream of entrepreneurship, congratulations. You're currently funding two businesses, yours in the future and the bank's right now. And no, the answer isn't another credit card, a side hustle that starts on Monday, or manifesting abundance in a Target parking lot. This doesn't take a decade. You don't need a finance degree, and you don't need to suffer. Just stop bleeding. At Numeratus, we build clean financial operating systems for builders, personal plus business cash flow, automation, tax readiness, and structures that hold when you scale. Because 18 to 22% of consumer debt isn't a bill, it's a negative investment return. Paying it off is like earning a guaranteed 20% return before you even start your business. And most people ignore it because math doesn't have a trending audio. By the end of this video, you'll have the exact debt payoff method that fits your psychology. The 90-day pivot plan to rebuild cash flow and fund your business without more debt. And the producer mindset shift that keeps you from crawling back into consumer mode. Stay to the end, because I'll show you where do-it-yourself plans collapse taxes, entities, and regular income. So let's talk about the cold hard truth. You're not bad with money. You're being farmed. Let's be respectful and honest here. High-interest consumer debt is not a personal flaw. It's a business model. You're not a customer, you're a recurring revenue stream with emotions. And if you carry 18 to 22% credit card debt while dreaming about entrepreneurship, here's what's happening. You want to build a business. The bank already built one using you. So today we fix the only thing that matters, cash flow. Because entrepreneurship isn't about vibes. It's about surplus. And now we need to get into the mindset shift of being a producer, the part that actually changes everything. A consumer asks, what can I buy? A producer asks, what can I build? Consumers optimize lifestyle. Producers optimize capacity. And debt is the perfect consumer trap because it lets you borrow confidence from your future self. So we're going to do the opposite. We're going to stop the leak, rebuild resilience, and redirect money into assets, emergency reserves, business systems, retirement and investing, and optionality. And here's the math that hurts, but it sets you free. Let's make this painfully clear. If you have credit card debt at 20% APR, paying it off is like earning a risk-free 20% return. Not maybe, not if the market cooperates, just math. Here's an example. $10,000 at 20% APR is $2,000 a year, and it's an interest drag, roughly before compounding. That $2,000 you're donating for the privilege of not feeling the pain immediately. And people will spend 6 months researching an investment that might return 8% while ignoring the guaranteed 20% return sitting on their own statement like a cursed artifact. So we kill high interest debt first. And here are two proven payoff systems. Pick one like an adult. Option A is the debt avalanche. It's the fastest mathematically. Pay minimums on everything. Throw extra dollars at the highest interest rates. Best for disciplined people, analytical brains, and anyone who wants the fastest reduction in interest. Option B is the debt snowball, and it's socialized on many other platforms by other content creators. And it's the fastest psychologically. Pay minimums on everything. Throw every extra dollar at the smallest balance first for momentum. This is the best option for people who need quick wins. Those people who say that they're going to start on Monday for 4 years. And this is important. Both work. The best plan is the one you'll actually follow when you're tired, stressed, and tempted by DoorDash. So choose. If you're logical, there's the Avalanche model. If you're emotional, Snowball. And now we execute. Here's the 2026 blueprint, and this matters. Step 1, stop the bleeding. Cut spend just enough to create a real surplus. Not, I'll never enjoy life again. More like, I'm not financing sushi at 22%. Step 2, destroy high-interest consumer debt. Avalanche or Snowball? Automate the payments. Track weekly, not yearly, not tax season. Step 3, build an emergency fund. About 3-6 months. Why? Because entrepreneurship without reserves is not brave. It's unstable. Start with $1,000 mini buffer. That's fast. Then move to 3 months of essentials. Then aim for 6 months if income is volatile. Creators, commissions, cryptos, contractors, things of that nature. Step 4, redirect freed up payments into production. This is the magic moment. The same payment that used to go to debt becomes your business runway, marketing budget, software stack, contractor fund, and retirement investment contributions. That's the pivot. You don't find money, you redeploy money. You see, we need to fund a business, but we need to fund a business without more credit cards. Let's go over the debt to equity basics. Why? Because people do this backwards, and it's a real bad plan. I'm going to start a business by increasing my personal credit card utilization. That's not entrepreneurship. That's a hostage situation. The better plan is understand debt versus equity for a new venture. Equity is you fund growth with your own cash or investors. You keep control rules clear, but you give up liquidity today. The debt piece, you borrow and repay. It can be strategic if it's affordable, structured, and tied to return on investment. There is a strategic aspect of this, and this is what people call good debt. In general terms, business debt can be strategic when it's at a reasonable rate. It's tied to revenue-producing assets like inventory, equipment, growth campaigns. You have margins and cash flow to service it, and it's separated from personal finances. The key rule, consumer debt is usually used to consume. Business debt is used to produce. If it doesn't create more cash flow, then it costs. It's not leverage, it's costume play. Now let's start a 90-day pivot plan, and this is the whole video in one little system. Days 1 to 7 is your reality check. Pull your last 60 to 90 days of transactions. Categorize into essentials, non-essentials, debt minimums, debt extra payments. Create your surplus number, how much you can throw at debt weekly and monthly. Days 8 to 30, debt attack month. Choose Avalanche or Snowball. Automate minimums. Put the surplus on the target debt. No new consumer debt allowed. Yes, that includes 0% for 12 months. That's just debt with makeup. Days 31 to 60, buffer and stability. Build a mini emergency buffer to prevent oops debt. Keep paying down debt aggressively. Start a simple cash flow tracker. Weekly. Days 61 to 90, producer funding begins. If high interest debt is gone or dramatically reduced, redirect it to emergency fund for 3 months, business foundation budgets, retirement or investing. Create a business funding rule. No new business expense unless it increases revenue, reduces labor hours, or reduces risk. And here's the end of your 90 days. You're no longer a consumer running on credit. You're a producer running on a system. Here's the part no one wants to admit. Do-it-yourself debt plans collapse when life gets complex. And in 2026, life is complex because people have irregular income, creator revenue streams, crypto transactions, side businesses, multi-state issues, entities that are half real and half TikTok advice, and taxes that do not care about your intentions. Debt payoff is straightforward. The collapse happens during the transition. When you start a business, when you mix personal and business spending, when you trigger tax problems, when you scale without structure. That's where Numeratus.us comes in. We don't just help you pay debt. We help you convert your life into a producer system. Clean books, proper separation, tax-ready reporting, automation, entity structuring that doesn't implode when you scale, and a plan that holds up when you're 10 times bigger. Because getting out of debt is step 1. Staying out is the real skill. If you're trapped in consumer debt, you're not behind. You're just paying interest for a lifestyle you don't even like that much. Pay off high interest debt, build a buffer, redirect the cash flow into production, and stop funding the bank's dream before you fund your own. If you want the transformation done cleanly, with structure and compliance that scales, Numeratus.us. Book a call, because we don't manage money. We train people to command it.